Hello, welcome to West Ham Grumble on Irons United with me, Alf Gasparo. So, what a week it's been in the West Ham world. Yes, Man City came down to the London Stadium on Saturday and gave us a damn good spanking, didn't they? And it was easy for them. I think that's what the disappointment of the whole affair was. It was just a bit too easy for them. Now, in our heart of hearts, did we really expect to win? In our dreams, possibly, but not in reality. I was hopeful for a 2-2 draw, but, we never looked really, that threatening. Yes, we had our opportunities. Antonio had a couple of opportunities, as did Arnautovic, but, hit the post, right at the keeper, wide, over the bar. It was never really. Another day, another opponent, maybe, we could have got a few goals there. But if we look at our players, and obviously not comparing to Man City players, but let's just look at our players and the way we play football and look at a team like Man City and how they play football. Now, everybody's saying that Man City, this fantastic team, and they're just brilliant. Yes, they are. They are a very good team. But you know why they're a good team? Because they do the simple things really well. They do the basics. It's passing and movement. They're playing triangles. They're moving in and out of space all the time. They're working as a unit. They are of a hive mind. They always know where other players are. It's very simple football, but it's very effective. Now, introduce on top of that some flair, some skill, and they just take teams apart. Contrast that style to the way we're playing. It's very haphazard. It's kind of rushed. Sometimes we have a couple of passes. Other times it's, there's not a lot of space, and it's not about what you do with the ball. It's what you do when you haven't got the ball. That old adage. Man City were all over us all the time, whereas we just enable them to play their game, gave them too much space. We didn't press with urgency. Now, this is a bit of naivety, I think, again, from Pellegrini, as he showed from the opening day of the season when we went toe-to-toe with Liverpool. We got our arses spanked there. This is about, knowing who your opponents are and knowing the quality of the players that we've got right now. And we do not have the quality of players to be able to play that kind of football against that kind of team. And it showed again. Yes, we're missing a couple of players through injury. Yes, in suspensions. Yes, we have players who are misfiring, and possibly, we got players who shouldn't even be in the team. My feelings on, Masuaku are well known, and my feelings on Antonio are well known. However, I will say this about Antonio: last few games he has developed and he has improved a little bit, but nowhere near the way he was, a couple of years ago. Now, I said before the game that I don't want to see Antonio in a West Ham shirt again, and I stand by that, because you cannot keep on saying that a player should be in the first team just because of what he's done 2 years ago. He was really successful a couple of years ago with Payet by his side, just constantly feeding him balls. As soon as Payet left, it was like he had the sulks, his long lost lover has disappeared. And that's what happened. Then his game just fell apart, really. He put on weight, he seemed to put on weight. And, his mobility. Yes, he had injuries and things like that, and playing through injuries, which he probably shouldn't have been. But, we can't just live on past glories or past excellence. We've got to think about now and the future. And right now, he is not Premiership standard going into the future. Especially the way West Ham want to be, how much money we've spent and where we want to go. He's not that standard. Masuaku. Now, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with Masuaku. Yes, he's playing in position left back. Yeah, last season he was playing more left wing back and he wants to be left wing. But he's come out on social media, defending himself and bitching a little bit, saying, it's not my position, it's not my fault. Well, I'm sorry. That doesn't make any difference. I hate cleaning the house. I hate doing chores around the house, but I still do it. Take one for the team. Just get on with the job. This is basic fundamentals you're not doing. And it comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen, that we were not closing down. There was no sense of urgency from a lot of the players. From Arnautovic, from Antonio, from Anderson at the top. When we lost possession, we weren't rushing Man City players to try and get the ball back. Same at the back, we were just in midfield and at the back. We were just allowing them too much space. And they were almost walking the ball into the net. in the first half. First half was a real disaster. We kind of held our own for the sort of 7 or 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and then, as soon as that first goal went on in 11 minutes, that's it. We kind of lost our shape a little bit. We rebounded a little bit. We started, and any time we created, a bit of urgency, and a bit of pressure, that's when Man City came under pressure themselves and they started to make a couple of mistakes, and that's how we created opportunities. It's a haphazard way of doing it. Pellegrini's got to look at his tactics, he's got to look at his man management, and he's got to look at, which players are really playing well and which are not playing well. We've got to look at tactics for each, not only for West Ham, but also how we're playing against specific teams. We're not playing well against the lesser teams in general, and we're certainly not playing well against the better teams right now. This is going to be another struggle of a season if you can't address these fundamentals. Ball retention, possession, passing, moving in and out of space, working with each other as a team, looking at the flanks, looking at bombing down the flanks. Did we really have effective, crosses coming in? Yeah, Diangana was coming in off the right-hand side. He was trying to create, some things, some action around the penalty area, but nobody's really putting on a good cross. A couple of times, a cross came in. I think Antonio, sort of bundled his way to the byline and actually got a cross in, and then Arnautovic headed over the bar. But that's about it. I need more of it. Now, Carroll was on the bench. A lot of people saying, well, why didn't Carroll come on? Because Perez, let's face it, I don't know whether to hate him or to feel sorry for him, because it's just not working. But if we're going to have Carroll on there, then we've got to have decent crosses coming in. Otherwise, the ball's just going to be pumped up to him, and he's either going to be isolated or he needs to lay off somebody next to Arnautovic or something who's right next to him. You can't just have Carroll up there, just, being the focal point. Now, Pellegrini likes a big, tall player. He liked Dzeko at Man City, and he also liked Carroll in pre-season as well. Remember, Carroll scored in pre-season, then he had to go for his ankle surgery or whatever it was. So Pellegrini does like him. So I will think that Carroll will be coming back for the Newcastle game, or possibly the Cardiff game, but he is coming back, and it's how we play to the strengths of Carroll and how we play to this, utilising Arnautovic or whatever. Now, there's a bit of a malaise going through the camp, I think, at the moment, and I think there's all this talk about Rice and Arnautovic has unsettled a lot of people. Anderson is not a £40 million player. He is not playing consistently enough and with the quality enough that we need him to be. So when people, they look at me and they say, Alf, what are you talking about Antonio and Masuaku and Anderson? This is a performance-based business. This is not nostalgia. We as fans, we can be nostalgic. Yeah, back in the day, Brookin, Ray, Bobby Moore, yeah, Bonds, oh, great players. Yeah, of course they were. But I'm not going to say, right, I want Bonds and Brookin to come back in the team right now. Do you know what? Actually, in saying that, they probably do a much better job than the players than we've got right now, even at their age. But what I'm saying is, we can't look back to these older players or how players used to play or how they played, 4 or 5 games ago. It's the here and now. You can afford players that are not playing on song for 1 or 2 games. But when it gets into 3 games that they're not playing well, then you've got to do something about it. Masuaku is not playing well. That's why he's subbed. He had to come off because it's not that maybe he's not even trying, but he's just not seeing the game that he needs to do. There's no sense of urgency to, close down the space and stop those crosses coming in. That's why Cresswell came in, and he did a lot better because that's his position. He knows what he's doing. There's a call for Masuaku to go on the left, the wing. But, let's face it, whenever he was playing on the left wing, or left wing, back left wing, last season, he wasn't really that effective. It's his end product. Yeah, you had a couple of dribbling sessions and a couple of skill sessions. Everybody went, wow, yeah. They even made a song about him. But actual end product, how many crosses did he put in that actually found the man or led to a goal? Possibly about 2 or 3, over the whole time span. Not good enough. So we got lots of players still not, at the back line, still Zabaleta. Look, Zabaleta, unfortunately we're going to lose him at the end of the season, but out of all those players, he's the one who's just showing it. He's showing it and he's giving it his all. Balbuena, Diop, still good for me. Rice, fantastic. That's what we need. Obiang, yeah, in different game, but The rest, below par performance. You know, Man City were a fantastic team, but we enabled them to be a fantastic team. We made it too easy for them. It was like a training ground exercise for them. You know, we needed more urgency. We needed to, you know, have the fight. You know, when we went up to Huddersfield, what happened? You know, we should have beaten Huddersfield, but no, they came at us with a, you know, they charged at us, they bullied us off the ball a little bit, especially in the first half. And guess what? That's how they got the result. And that's what we should have done. We should have bullied them a little bit more. We should have, you know, got at them, you know, scared them a little bit. But we didn't do it, did we? We didn't do it. And that's why I'm so disappointed. I wasn't expecting a win. I wasn't expecting us to, you know, stuff them and, you know, send them back up north, you know, with their tails between their legs. But I was expecting to give them a game. And I don't think we gave them a game. Yes, we created chances, so that is a positive. I'm not going to be all grumbly and all moany and woe is me. We did create chances, but we didn't put them away, did we? We still lost 4-0. So if we're going to lose 4-0 by not really, you know, hammering them and closing them down, then we might as well lose 4-0 by having a good go. And I think we're getting better under Pellegrini, but we're still a bit toothless. You know, we are definitely toothless up front. We're toothless at the wings, you know, getting crosses in, and, you know, defensively midfield we're starting to get better. If we didn't have Rice, we would be in serious trouble right now. And that is a fact. We are relying on a 19-year-old kid, or however old he is, 19-year-old kid to save our bacon. Not good enough. Not good enough. We need to be better. All the players need to be better to lift up their game. If I was Noble in that dressing room, if I'm Pellegrini in that dressing room, I would be screaming and shouting, you know, at every single one of those players to actually, you know, come on, rise up, get some urgency, get in there, you know, get stuck in. Too many players just, you know, lose the ball and they're just sort of strolling around, not chasing afterwards. Not enough of Arnautovic chasing down the keeper. Need a lot more of that. He used to do it. He did it last season. He was doing it at the start of this season. He's not doing it as much. You know, Antonio needs to do this. You know, as soon as you lose the ball, you need to charge down. I know you can't go 150% for 90 minutes. I know that. And I know you can't go 150% for every single game. I know that. But individual players can take it in turns, so there's constant pressure applied. So you can have your little respites during the game. They need to work at a system that there's a lot more pressure, a lot more intensity, and, you know, to actually give the fans something to, you know, really hold on to the hope that we can actually give teams a good game, and that they come to the London Stadium and, you know, they have to be fearful they're going to play West Ham. That's what we need. We need to have teams come down to our stadium right now and say, you know what, this is West Ham. They're going to give us a bloody good hard game today. We better be on top of our game. That's what we need. And we're not doing it right now. We almost had a little glimmer that we could do it, but it's not there yet. Pellegrini, a lot more work to be done. Players, up your game. Get it sorted. Next game against Newcastle. We've got a run of games, you know, Cardiff against the, I don't want to say it, but the lesser teams. This is where we need to pick up points. We need to pick up points because, you know, it's so tight down there. We could be, if we don't get points now, we could easily end up in the bottom three or very close to the relegation zone. You know, there's hardly any points difference between the bottom half of the table right now. Anyway, this has been the West Ham Grumble with me, Alf Gasparo, on Irons United. Subscribe to them because they're really cool. And I'll catch you on the next one whenever that is. Cheers now. Oh, by the way, leave lots of comments below. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me that, you know, we shouldn't really be harping on about how players used to play? It's about now. It's about going forward. Let me know. Okay, catch you on the next one whenever it is. Cheers now.